Welcome to the Content Amplified podcast, brought to you by Masset. Our goal is to help you get more from your marketing content. Each episode is a 10 to 15 minute interview with industry experts that share amazing insights to help you squeeze as much juice from your content as you possibly can. Here's today's interview.
Welcome back to another episode of Content Amplified. Today I'm joined by Benjamin. Benjamin, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ben, for having me.
You bet. It's fun to talk to another Ben. I love it. It's going to be a good conversation. But Benjamin, let's get to know you a little bit. Let's get to know your background. And also, I'd love to ask, what do you love about marketing and content?
Yeah. So I'll answer the latter question. So what I love about content and marketing is that it's very creative. It's very dynamic. It's always changing. It's always evolving. And so I think that's why I'm naturally kind of drawn to those two things, is because it's not to say that I, am in love with change, but I love the idea of always having to grow and learn and know how to do different things. And then my background, so today I own my own digital marketing agency. It's called Global Social Media Marketing. And then I also have been teaching in the digital marketing space. So I teach at major universities all across the country. And then the third thing that I've been kind of doing is I also have my own e-learning company called Sweet Courses that is specifically focused on providing marketing courses to marketers everywhere from entry level to people that are trying to skill up and get to the next level of their marketing career.
I love it. I'm super excited for this conversation, Ben, and I love your background and the passion for marketing. What we're going to talk about is really on the cutting edge. And this is brand new technology. I've only dabbled in this space, but Ben's had a lot more interaction with it. So I'm curious to dive in. What we're talking about is AI generated video. And specifically what we're talking about is how does it work? Where is it at and how we can possibly utilize it in our businesses. So Benjamin, to kick things off, what is the state of AI video currently? What is it really rough? I mean, what does it look like today? I guess, let's catch everyone up to date.
Yeah. So, I think, I want to kind of address the elephant in the room, which is ChatGPT, right? Everybody, I think, that is dabbling in AI has hopefully used ChatGPT or you've heard about it. So to kind of just address that first, I would say, ChatGPT does have their own AI video solution. You may have caught that earlier this year in around February. They kind of made like a public announcement. We're going to be releasing our next solution, which is Sora, is what they're referring to it. So really kind of the basic principle of using AI video is you're actually taking text and you're converting that text to video. And so there's definitely a lot of different players, and there's also a lot of different reasons why something like Sora from ChatGPT wasn't initially launched to the general public, or might have been a paid version of something, right? Because in all honesty, that's to your point, it really is cutting edge. It's probably taking like text to image was probably a little bit more easier to do that, or giving a prompt and getting a text output a little bit easier to do that as well. But when we're talking about video, if you have a video background, you understand the complexities of video, right? Things like actors and voiceovers and settings and transitions, right? And so trying to create a model in which can produce high quality video is definitely going to be a huge challenge for the AI industry, but something that also is really going to revolutionize the way that creators create videos moving forward.
Yeah. Plus, it's got to be expensive. I have to imagine that the technology is super expensive to run. And so a lot of companies are a little hesitant to let everyone have at it, especially at the size of ChatGPT and all of them. So before we dive into the actual technology you're using and the process, which I'd love to dive into, what are some good use cases? Like, what are some good opportunities, and why, as a business, marketer, should I look into AI? What are some contexts, for some opportunities that this can enhance what I'm doing with marketing and content?
Yeah, so I would probably start with like the basic use case of an AI video solution is to create videos, right? ultimately, I think with that, you're looking at it as like a time reduction is like the number one probably benefit to this, right? I mean, I know for myself, like I have been doing video for 13, 14 years now. I've done everything from voiceovers to being the lead actor in the video to recruiting professional talent. And what I will tell you is that, when you make a video, the old school way now, or the traditional way, maybe is what people are going to start calling it, is you had to have equipment, right? You had to have maybe potentially a DSLR camera, maybe you have a webcam on your computer, maybe you have a smartphone. You're going to then need to get good enough lighting, right? You're not going to be able to just like shoot in pitch black dark. So you might have to have like natural lighting by your window, or you might have to purchase something simple like a ring light that you can attach to your desk or to your, the top of your computer, or you might even go further and get, other additional equipment. The next thing you would have to think about is sound quality, right? Are you going to have an external microphone? Are you going to use earphones? Are you going to use the natural audio of your computer, which all of my audio pros would say, never do that. Obviously I can see on screen for you, right? You've got your own kind of podcasting setup, which is great also for videos. And then, those are like the basic principles that you're going to need to make the video. And then you're actually like recording yourself on video, and then you might mess up, or you might say a word the wrong way, or maybe if you're memorizing something, you don't memorize it. You see all those like cutouts and things. And so like all those basic principles of creating a video essentially are almost getting eliminated completely. And not to say that you shouldn't have good lighting and audio and on all those things, but you can really record a small piece of video, a minute to 2 minute video. And now you are able to create with that 1 to 2 minute video, unlimited amounts of videos without having to reshoot thing and check all those things.
I love that. So obviously the cost, time savings, all of those opportunities are massive wins for companies. So let's walk through the process. So I'm a business and I say, okay, I'm intrigued. This sounds fun. Where do I get started? Like, where do I go? What tools are you using? How should I think about it? Even before the call, you had mentioned, hey, videos aren't just go and make a video. There's pre-production, there's editing, there's actual production, there's post-production. Walk us through that process. Like, where do you go and how does it work? And how do you go through this process? And what tools are you using?
Yeah. So the tools is fun, right? Because there's so many AI tools that are popping up like on a consistent basis. So I'm going to come from my like professional experience of using some of the tools of like which ones I feel have worked best for me in my experience, but also hit on some of those other ones. So to answer that question very quickly, for creating videos, the top three that our team and my company have used so far are Creatify or Creatify.ai. We've also used InVideo or InVideo.ai. And then the one that our team has been using the longest is HeyGen. And we've been using HeyGen now for, almost a year and a half. And that seems like a really long time in AI video because, to your point, a lot of people are still not doing AI video yet this year.
I love it.
As far as like the process is concerned, so we really lean into HeyGen, right? Like that's the software tool that we've gone with, and they're just doing some really innovative stuff with like how they're updating that solution. So we've kind of got like those different processes that we were chatting about at the beginning, right? You've got pre-production planning, AI video production, then you've got AI video editing, and then you've got post-production. So when you're thinking about like pre-production, it's kind of some of those like initial things that you're going to need to kind of map out on like what the video is going to be about. So who's your target audience? What is your script going to look like? And are you going to need any, let's say, screen recordings if you were doing something where you're showing something on a computer, right? And all of those initial steps could use AI in certain ways. Probably one of the most common applications that is not necessarily like within HeyGen, even though there is an AI script writing creation capability there. A lot of these AI tools now will say, okay, we can help you write that script directly in our platform. We don't use the HeyGen one as much because really we're using HeyGen more for the video creation of the text to video functionality. That's what we're mainly using that for. when we're thinking about script writing, because we already do videos for a lot of our clients, we already have kind of like pre-templates, but we're actually also using ChatGPT. So now what we're doing is we're actually kind of starting with the pre-planning and using ChatGPT for like market research of who is our target audience. And then based on this target audience and the topic of that video, create a video that's a minute long script. So we're putting that type of prompt in to ChatGPT. We're then getting that output. We're putting that into a Google Doc. And then kind of how we're doing it as a company is we have that human touch point then at that stage, right? So human put input, AI produced a text-based script output. Now our writing team or our video production team is reviewing that script and then editing that script. And so it's creating an efficiency there, right? It's not like starting with a blank piece of paper where it's like they have to write everything. They have something as a foundation for like, here's some big points I want to hit on, or here's some different ways of saying things that I might not have thought about. And now they can kind of edit that script. So that's been interesting, like using AI in that script creating process. Like I said, a lot of these other AI tools have that. And then kind of moving on to like the next stage is we have like the video production. And a lot of that is doing with like, funny enough to any of like, you know, my Snapchat users, when that first came out, right? Like you create an avatar of yourself, or like, you know, pretty much all the like apps now allow you to create like this photo avatar of yourself. So that analogy now is in video, which is crazy. So you create a video avatar of yourself. And so that's where I was kind of saying at the beginning of our conversation, you know, I might only need to provide a 1 to 2 minute video. And now I have a video avatar in which I can apply that avatar to as many videos as I want, which is really cool. I think that's probably one of the most exciting things for me. You know, and I think there's also some capabilities there in changing your avatar a little bit, right? Like if I want to have a different background, there's also like if I want to be in costumes, which is something I haven't explored too much. I'm trying to be a little bit, I guess, more professional, still trying to be fun in my videos. But let's say, you know, if I was working for like a Halloween company, you know, that's a prime example of them. They could literally show all their different costumes with one video avatar. So yeah, I think that's probably like a little bit about the AI video production. You're kind of getting your avatar. There's also things you can do like with a photo to video as a capability. You can also do like voice with your AI. And then from there, it's all about like the video editing, right? So, you know, obviously there's already tons of, you know, well-respected video editing softwares out there, like the whole Adobe Creative Suite and Final Cut Pro, and then even, you know, free apps that are available or even on your phone. But I think that, you know, if you're thinking about it naturally, like these AI video softwares that are all popping up, they're adding all these little features in there to potentially compete with those to kind of just keep your entire video process in that software. So they do offer things like that. But then even outside of that, right, like we have professional video editors on my team. So they are using the, you know, tried and true, you know, most commonly used video editing tools, but they're using like the AI features within those too, right? Like a lot of these tools now have like automatic color grading or stabilization has been a big thing that's been along for a long time. And so just some of those like, you know, I would say really important editing things that like technically maybe people wouldn't always know how to do if they were an early video editor or if they had no video editing experience are now like, it's almost like the analogy of like, as marketers, we could build websites with page builders and WordPress. Well, now we can edit videos with all these AI video editing solutions without having to know all the tech. So that's been kind of interesting. And then the last thing I would say is kind of the post-production, which is more of the like exporting and like compressing the video and, you know, correcting it, making it adequate. But then also I would say like translating a video. And that's probably been the biggest thing for me, is now taking like the English version of me. And now I'm literally speaking Japanese and Chinese and Russian and, you know, whatever other language I want to kind of use that's available. And that AI language is definitely getting pretty good right now. And it's really cool to start seeing that I can use that in my videos.
Okay. There's a lot to unpack there. That was amazing. So many good things, so many things I'm going to try right when we get off of this podcast. I'm really excited for it. I love it. Any good use cases? We don't have long left in the podcast, but any interesting use cases where you're like, man, I created that video using AI and it just worked really well. Any last tidbits to kind of get the juices flowing for some of these creatives?
Yeah, I would say like the most common use cases I've used recently is training is huge for me. If I'm doing like some screen recordings, but then I actually want to add like a person to that training so it feels a little bit more humanized and it's not just looking at a shared screen the whole training. That's a really easy thing I can do with just having that, have somebody go through it of what they're showing on a computer and then transcribe the video actually so that it goes in the text and then take that text and then put it into my AI software. And now I have an instructor for the training that I can slice and dice in the video. That's been really cool. And then the other thing I would say is paid advertising. So you're going to start to see a lot more paid ads from brands that are, again, using an avatar and making a paid ad that they're running on Facebook ads, that they're running on YouTube ads. And so I'm very curious to see how the paid ad platforms start to identify what is a paid ad in AI versus a more humanized, authentic, raw paid ad. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how that evolves.
I love it. Well, Benjamin, as promised, these episodes go by quick. I have learned so much. There's so much to explore in this space. But if anyone wants help, wants to connect, wants to reach out and connect with you online, how and where are the best places to find you?
Yeah, so you can definitely find me on LinkedIn if you want to connect with me on one-on-one. It's just my name, Benjamin Kepner. And then my company, again, is Global Social Media Marketing. You can just type that in. Should be the first result on Google. And we have a website there. If you're interested in talking shop or if you're interested in working with us, you can just fill out the contact form and be happy to help.
Well, Benjamin, again, thanks for the time and insights today.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for listening to the Content Amplified podcast. Please subscribe and leave us a review. And for additional ways to get more out of your content, visit our website at getmasset.com. That's getmasset.com. And tune in next time to the Content Amplified podcast.